Let's talk more about how to get B2B clients, including the exact list of where decision makers go to find experts like you. Now, here's one of my famous quotes that's definitely a writer downer. You can't make a B2B decision maker ready, but you can make them aware that they are ready and help them prepare for when they are ready. It is so important to remember this. I can't tell you how many coaches, consultants, and service providers over the last 19 years that Bold House has helped to transform their business, that when they first came in to work with us, they felt like they were constantly trying to convince decision makers. And the second that you're trying to convince a decision maker, that's when you start feeling really salesy. And that's not who you are, I know, because I've worked with experts just like you. You care about your clients, you care about what you do, you believe in what you do. The second that you find yourself convincing folks, you're frustrated, you get deflated, and it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because a decision maker inside of an organization is dealing with so many interdependencies. Their organization is already committed to so many things. And so it's really pointless for you to spend your energy trying to convince them because you can't literally move a mountain. And that's what you would be trying to do. All right, so what I'm gonna share with you now is Bold House's proprietary tower of prospect readiness. And this is something we've been studying now for 2 decades. And it's really the buckets of readiness that decision makers fall in at any given time. This is so important to understand this, because if you understand this, it's going to completely change how you think about your marketing, your sales, and your entire business development process. Look, guys, at any given time, only 1 to 3% of your ideal right fit target clients are in a ready now place to buy from you. Another 5 to 15% are going to be ready to buy from someone like you soon, not now, but soon. And in today's market, given that organizations are actually moving a bit more slowly, in part because they're trying to read the tea leaves around which direction AI is going and what's happening in the marketplace, but ready soon now typically means about 6 months from now. Another 15 to 25% of decision makers will be ready later. They will be ready anywhere from 6 months to 24 months from now. And about 20 to 35% of the marketplace will be ready when something finally happens, when the straw finally breaks the camel's back, as they say. But until then, until something changes and a shoe drops, they're not ready. But my goodness, these are the guys that will run cold to hot overnight. One day you could be talking to a decision maker in this category and they just don't want to hear anything about what your firm does, what you do, they just don't care. Overnight, their entire C-suite of leaders gets fired, they've got a whole new group coming in. Well, now it's a completely different story and they're ready like yesterday to work with you. So that's that group. And then the last group, 25 to 35% of the market, are what we call the ready nevers, meaning they are just not believers. They just will never be interested in what it is that you do. And for that group, don't worry about them. They are not really part of your total addressable market because they just don't value the thing that you do. Many years ago, we had a client come in to work with us at Bold House, and they and their firm were experts in customer service. And we saw right away one of their biggest mistakes that they were making was spending all of their time targeting the companies that were consistently ranked the world's worst customer service. And the thing is, to land on the worst customer service list, you have to really try. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to really, really try to suck at customer service to get on that list. Those are companies that are signaling, we don't care. They are ready never. They actually are making a decision. There might be a couple of airlines, low-cost airlines that come to mind right now for you. Look, those companies are not competing on customer service. They don't care. They're competing on low cost. And they know that no matter how bad their customer service, people will still buy an airline ticket because it's a deal that's too good to pass up. So that's a great real world, in the wild example of a ready never. Now that you know that this is sort of how the market is segmented in terms of readiness levels of decision makers, a couple of things should start to happen for you strategically. Number one, a realization of, wow, I need to be visible with a lot more decision makers than I'm visible with right now, because if I'm in a room speaking at a conference and I'm speaking to 100 of my right fit ideal clients, coming out of that, only 1 to 3 of those leaders would even be in a place right now where they would want to take action and work with my consulting, coaching, or services firm. So think about that in terms of the number of decision makers you really need to be reaching. We have this conversation a lot at our All Systems Go week with our clients, where we're building out their business development strategies because we need bigger reach. The other thing I really want you thinking about is, okay, now that I know this information, what actions should I be taking? And that really comes now down to understanding where decision makers find their outside experts, like those professional services providers, coaches, and consultants. So I'm going to share with you the 11 top places that decision makers find experts like you. Number one is their existing professional or personal network. These are folks that they already know and they've already built rapport with. Number two, recommendations from their existing network. And their existing network could be other peers inside the company that they work for, or it could even be their friends and family. Fun fact, one of the most interesting pieces of data that I've seen over the last few years is that millennials are much more likely to ask their friends and their family for referrals, even in a business-to-business setting. So really sort of interesting there. I say that because so many small business owners and self-employed experts really don't put the time and energy into educating their network, what they do. And yet now a lot of referrals and word of mouth is happening through personal connections just as much as is happening through professional connections. Number three, decision makers call and email their past service providers and vendors that they've worked with. Sometimes they go back and say, hey, I don't know if you do this thing, but we're looking for somebody who can do XYZ for us. Can you do that, or do you know someone who can? So they'll go back to their previous service providers. Then number four, if those three sources don't yield the expert they need, then they will start looking to the experts that they've met in person from live events through either networking, speaking, conferences, or I can put webinars in that category, especially if it's a live webinar. They feel like they've met you. So they will go there fourth. And then fifth, they will turn to contact information that they have saved because somebody emailed them. If you've ever done direct outreach to introduce yourself to leaders inside of organizations and you didn't hear back, it doesn't mean that they didn't tuck your information away in their quote unquote Rolodex, their Outlook contacts, what have you. They might be holding on to your information for a rainy day. So those are the top 5 places that decision makers go in order to find outside experts. If they exhaust all of those places, they have looked to their own personal network, their own professional network, their recommendations and referrals from their network, from their past service providers, through the emails that they've gotten, or experts that they've met at conferences or networking. If that yields nothing, and that's, by the way, is going to yield a lot, then and only then do they go to AI answer engines, webinars, LinkedIn and YouTube, Google searches, which of course AI summaries are now redirecting a lot of that traffic, industry directories, and last but not least, their internal purchasing or procurement department. Most leaders today really try to avoid that department at all costs because they make the whole thing a science project and it takes a really long time. But I'm going to leave this up on the screen here for just a second to really give you this list and to understand if this is where they are finding their outside experts and resources, then this is where you not only need to be, but where you need to be top of mind. All right, so what you want to do now to keep this going is head over to wincorporateclients.com. When you get there, you're going to be able to download a special report that I wrote for you called the $1 Million Plus Boutique Firm. And it's about understanding exactly what you need to do in order to create a sustainable, profitable, thriving business by solving the business development challenges that you as an expert-based business have. It's all available for you over at wincorporateclients.com, so you want to download that now. You also want to do something else. You want to watch the video, How to Get Corporate Clients. We talk a lot more about understanding the psychology and the behavior of corporate decision makers. That is a must understand if you're going to be successful in the marketing strategies that you employ in your business. So I've dropped that link for you right below as well. Go ahead and click on that now, and we'll pick up our conversation right there.